Gentlemen, we've got a fine show for you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the top of the order queue there. You aren't going to believe.
The following program is brought to you in living color.
Turn around to your right. I don't want to go into the sun, but I want to.
What is up, guys and girls? How the blooming devil are you? Yes, it's Friday night and you are once again tuned into the madness that is the Friday Night Live show with me, the Grom, and a few, or what seems to be one, usual suspect. Yes, the legendary Dan Cobb has already joined us in the live chat, so good evening to you, sir, and you may have just broken the information that at the same time stokes me up and makes me slightly gutted at the same time. But dude, legend. I am truly stoked for you if you might have just won what you said you might have just won. Anyway, I digress already and the show is not even started. Yes, it is Friday night and yes, you are here with me for the next maybe 50 minutes, maybe less, maybe more. Who blooming well knows. But yes, it is another Friday Night Live show. And if you are watching this while we are live, please feel free, as always, to get into the live chats and get involved with the community, which is something I'll talk about in a little while. But it's always lovely to have you here, whether you are here live or whether you are here after the fact and just watching it on replay in the comfortability of your own time. And yeah, it's just good that you support the channel and support this little show that we call the Friday Night Live. So appreciate the hell out of you guys taking the time out of your lives to tune in. Apart from that, how has the week been treating you? I hope you are now tuned out of the daily grind and the madness that is the working week. And I hope you are getting ready to tune into that weekend ahead. So I hope you've got something awesome lined up. Maybe it's just something as simple as some R&R and some quality time with the family, but who knows? But for now, I hope you're sat down. You're ready for an evening, maybe a cold one, maybe a hot one, depending on what the climate is in your current location. But I hope you're just relaxed and ready for a little bit of fun, maybe even a possible laugh along the way. So I don't know about what the weather has been like in your neck of the woods, but I can tell you it has been rather hot here in the UK. This past week, it has actually felt like summer might just have landed. We don't know how long it's here to stay. It might have only been this past week and it might have already departed for another location, maybe even a sunnier climate somewhere else to bring somebody else some joy. But all I can say is that currently I'm sat in my living room and it is a pleasant 25 degrees C. So yeah, if I'm brutally honest, about 5 or 10 minutes ago, I stood outside with my t-shirt or my Hawaiian shirt off. And yeah, man, it's warm. That's still comfortable for me. So yeah, let me know in the live chats. What's the weather like for you lovely people where you are? Has it been sunny? Have you been getting a little bit of added vitamin D in your life? Has it been chilly? Has it been rainy? I hope it's not been the latter. I hope it's been the first. I hope it's been nice and sunny for you guys and you're in good spirits for it. So there are people pouring into the live chat, which I love to see. And just got to say, last week's live chat, phenomenal. As always, I will do my very best to keep an eye on the live chat while we do the show. And if there's questions, witty banter, I will try to do my very best to keep an eye on it and call it as it happens. However, I do always sit after the show and go through all of the live comments, and at any other point, if there's comments left below the video, I will reply, so please feel free. But man, the live chat last week was phenomenal. It was great to see some familiar faces, and also just some absolute legends that stop by once in a while, but it seemed like everybody was here last week. So yeah, awesome vibes. And I'm going to continue with that thought because I've actually pulled up a couple of comments, and it kind of leads to what I started saying at the beginning of the show. But I just want to give a shout out. Obviously, we've already spoken about the legendary Dan Cov. It's great to see Pippa's here this evening. Cockney Buddha. I've seen Devu-san, and I'm sure I've also seen, and I want to say, maybe I'm going crazy. No, I have seen him. Yes, it is the legendary coffee guy. I hope he's still here, because we've got to give him a little something, haven't we? And for any of you people that follow the daily vlog, you will know that my life, my daily grind, my work revolves around the arrival of this particular gentleman that is pretty much the only reason that I continue to work at that establishment. And also, good evening, Tom. It's awesome to see you pop up in the live chats. But there is a sad announcement to make. It's sad for me. It's awesome for Mr. Chris, the legendary coffee guy. Dude, he's leaving me. He's leaving me for 2 weeks. What am I going to do, guys and girls? What the hell am I going to do? However, yeah, that guy absolutely puts in the graft. You won't be seeing work Monday to Friday, but he's always doing like events and gigs over the weekends. And I think I'm right in saying the guy's just pretty much worked for 5 years straight, apart from that little blip that we don't mention on social media platforms. You know, that little period of time where the world kind of came to a bit of a standstill. But I must admit, even then, this guy was still kind of within his reasons and his, you know, parameters, still bringing coffee to me. So he's an absolute legend. So dude, I hope you have a fantastic holiday. I'm sorry I didn't get much time to speak to you earlier on this afternoon. I was kind of being pressured by the people within my establishment. It's a busy time of the month and all that, but nevertheless, I just wanted to take 5 seconds to say, dude, I hope you and Joe have an absolutely wonderful time. I'll see you when you get back, and yeah, don't forget about this, man. Make sure that you come back with some coffee real soon, dude. But until then, yeah, soak up some sun, have a whale of a time, and yeah, looking forward to seeing you again soon, dude. Obviously, don't forget to tune into the Friday Night Lives while you're off living the dream. Anyway, before I start abusing you, let's get back to the show. So, last week there was a few things we discussed. One of them was dealing with situations and how to let go of things. And the other thing that was kind of very slightly touched on, which was kind of trying to drum up an idea for you guys and girls in the live chats. I want a name. I want a collective. I don't know if maybe that's politically correct these days, but it was being battered about. And if I can actually get this right and figure this out, because, you know, me, tech, we have our moments. Check it. So, legendary Chris Avery, which I don't know if I've seen him in the live chats tonight, but last week he said about Grom chat, and I think that's kind of just a bit like, it's there, I like it, it's close. And then Bob Marsh, which I believe might already be in this evening. Yes, I have seen him there in the live chats as we speak. Called us the Barmy Army, which I think is pretty up there, man. I think that could stick. So, if you're in the live chats now, or if you're watching this after, feel free. What do you reckon? You've got like, I don't know, I can't think of it now, like Lady Gaga has a name for her fans, and there's like all of these super famous people that has like names for their crews, like, or their little collectives. Obviously Ben Gravy has like the Nub Nation, and I kind of feel like the Barmy Army's close. I think it needs to have Kook in it somewhere, or Fruit Loop. I think I might. You might. I don't know if you'd all take offence if I called the live chat the Fruit Loops. I don't know, man. I kind of like referring to myself as that. I wouldn't want to refer to you lovely people as that. But yeah, what we got? The Gromettes. I kind of like that. Gromsters. Problems. Haha. Dude, yeah, so let me know, and we'll continue with that thought as we move on throughout the course of the shows. And then we go to the letting go, and I love this from the Everyday Surfer. It was like, go surfing. I was like, dude, that, my friend, is a solid recommendation of how to just overcome, let things go, and just let it be, in the famous words of the great philosopher. Was it John Lennon, or was it the other one, Paul McCartney? Anyway, yeah, go surfing. Dude, if only I could. If the sea was that close, one day. And then Cockney Buddha himself, the man, the myth, the legend, came in with this, saying, letting go depends on the situation, but I work on pity, or seeing the other as their insecurities, then see the situation as a lesson. So now the mind sees it as more on a positive. And I like that. And that's actually something that I kind of took away from the events of the other past week. I'm not going to dwell on too much, because you already know. But looking back, I was like, man, if that is your highlight of your day, or if that is like the necessity, if that's what was important for this certain individual to voice, then hey, man, what can I say, dude? Yeah, I'm just out trying to skate. So, yeah, and I thought this was a really, really good comment, dude, and that's a really solid one. Is there another one? Yes! This did crack me up. Now, there's a few of you that know the lovely Chris Avery, and for him to say this, only on a football pitch for me, I can be a right dick in a game of football, but that's the only place I ever lose my temper. Any other situation, I am calm as a cucumber. And I can actually vouch for that, because there has actually been, let's just say, there was a situation in my residential car park in which the lovely Chris Avery was with me. He was actually coming to collect me for us to go out and, I can't remember if we were going to do gaming or if we were going out somewhere. We were going to do something. And there was a little bit of heat being caused by some of my wonderful neighbours, because there's like a parking war in my residential car park. And it's kind of funny because I, at that time, was in a bit more of a kind of position where I'm a bit like, this is stupid, man. Get out of the way. Let us move on. And wanting to just stand my ground. Whereas Chris was like, don't worry, man. We ain't going nowhere. It don't matter. It's cool, And he is most definitely cool as a cucumber, that guy. So for him, I can only imagine how stressed and wound up he gets on a football pitch, because I know he's quite passionate about football. So, yeah. But, hey, man. It gets us all at one point or another, so I suppose we have to be almost empathetic to that, because who knows what people are going through and how they're going to react. But yeah, definitely, I think the major keys taken from that is go surfing, and I highly recommend that to anybody and everyone. And also the Cockney Buddha's words in see it in a way that in actual fact, it's kind of feel for them that is, in the situation that they're putting themselves in. But hey, moving on, getting back to a Friday night show, let's get to it. You know you love it, I know I love it, and kind of wouldn't be a Friday Night Live without it, right? So let's get to it, guys and girls. Yes, we have a weekly roundup of news, a little bit of madness, and possibly actually some genuine information. But it is Friday Night Live news, and it is 11 o'clock on the dot, as you can see by the little time code down there. Look at that, eh? Real life time, check that out. We're like fully professional. Anyway, this week's news. So, if I said think of a six-legged animal or creature, maybe an insect of some way, shape or form might spring to mind. But would this spring to mind? Literally, a Springer Spaniel nonetheless. So, a six-legged dog abandoned outside of B&M settles into a new life in Pembrokeshire nonetheless. Ariel has settled into her new life well and enjoys swimming, paddleboarding and surfing. Her owner tells Sky News, or in this case, Friday Night Live News, a six-legged dog who was abandoned outside a shop is settling into her new home. Ariel, named after the Disney's Little Mermaid, was left outside of the B&M store in Pembrokeshire last September. She was only 11 weeks old and at the time was taken into a local Green Acres rescue in Havenford West. And check this out. She's got 6 legs. As well as 6 legs, the Cocker Spaniel was also born. And maybe if you've got young uns listening to this, you might want to like cover their ears. And I had to I was stunned by this. So as well as being born with 6 legs, the Cocker Spaniel was also born with 2 vulvas and only 1 kidney. Yeah, check that one out. Ariel's new owner, Ollie Bird, runs an adaptive surf school in West Wales, and it's actually freshwater. So again, there's going to be some people probably in the live chat that know that location. I don't know if they're familiar with this story, but I was just like, what an awesome story. And the fact that she's like been snapped up by a guy that runs an adaptive surf school just seemed like such a beautiful end to what could have been quite a gnarly start in life. So I thought that was just a little story that I wanted to share. And the fact that she got 6 legs, dude. Yeah. So moving on, Parisians, and if you've ever seen the reference to this clip, your father is a hamster and your mother smells of elderberries. Yes. Parisians have threatened to poo in the river, and I want to get this right. Is it the River Seine? It's not, is it? I can't think of the river that runs through Paris. Anyway, basically, locals are protesting ahead of the Olympics. People angry at the expense of cleaning up the river have rallied under the hashtag, and let's try to get this one right. J'éteins de la Seine le 23rd of June. Yeah, my French, I got a D in French, which basically translates to I shit in the Seine in 23rd of June. Sunday was supposed to be the date that the Paris mayor, Anne Hidalgo, would swim in this river to prove that the water was clean enough for the Olympic athletes. But she's delayed the dip until after the French elections in July. Also, the president, Emmanuel Macron, I can never pronounce his name right either, Macron, has also promised to swim in the river before the games, but has not said when. So I don't know if you can see this picture too well, but there is absolutely loads of people swimming in this river, and they're saying that like the bacteria levels in it are through the roof. The pollution that's being pumped into it is just not right. And it's quite interesting because I also see a report this evening in regards to the Henley Regatta here in the UK, and they're saying exactly the same thing about that one main straight section of the River Thames in which they hold the boat race. And they're saying that the E. coli levels in that are through the roof, like massively through the roof. And there has been numerous reports of swimmers and also anglers and many other water goers that have been falling really ill. So I would highly recommend that you don't go swimming in the Thames or in the river through Paris. And I think the motto for this year's boat race is be safe on it, not in it, or something stupid like that. A little bit scary, that thought. Anyway, coming back to a beautiful British pastime and tradition, I would almost like to say. Biscuit lovers have been left stunned after a snacker discovered there was no jam inside their jammy Dodger. This is like start for a civil war, trust me. Us Brits may be divided in our opinions about many things, but one thing the majority of us agree on is that there is nothing quite like sitting down with a cup of tea, some biscuits, and ready to dunk. One classic tea time treat is the jam-filled treat itself, known as the Jammy Dodger. This annoyed Londoner basically took to the wonderful platform X on his account, Michael John F, basically is at, and ranked in over 1.6 million views, commenting, when you buy some jammy Dodgers from Tesco's for a little treat and there is no jam in one. The X users joked that the jam dodged the biscuit, boom, boom. And I've seen a few first world problems in my time, but this one, well, this takes the biscuit. So, yes, guys and girls, there is absolutely turmoil in the UK this week from pollution in waters, six-legged dogs, and then no jam in your jammy Dodgers. So, be careful. Be careful where you invest in your jammy Dodgers on this ongoing week. Apart from that, that was the Friday Night Live news. Back to the main show. Well, guys and girls, we made a shamble of a few names, probably offended the French, and will probably be sued by Sky News. But hey, it's Friday Night Live, baby. That's how we do it around here. So, continuing with the madness that is the news this week, and I don't know if you guys and girls that are in the UK or of any of you lot that are particularly active on the beautiful platform that is Instagram, if you happen to notice anything in relation to a lovely little spot that I like to consider my local surf spot, kind of, sort of. Anyway, Bournemouth, nonetheless, a wonderful little seaside town, which is probably actually taken over to be more than just a town now. It's almost verging on being a city these days. Had a little visitor, and it was caught on camera. And it was caught on camera off the side of the pier, where, let's just say, a majority of when the surfers go out there, that's where the surfers are at. But nonetheless, there was a shark sighting, which is kind of a bizarre one, but not actually as bizarre as you would expect, because there is many shark sightings off the coast of the UK, from basking sharks, mako sharks, and I think even black tips possibly. Don't quote or hold me to that, but there has been many shark sightings, and I think off the coast of Wales, and hopefully if Pippa is still in the live chat, she might have to, I don't know, confirm this, but I believe there are people off the south coast of Wales that even offer like excursions or diving trips to actually go out and see sharks. Again, I wouldn't be 100% sure on what actual breed of shark you get to go and see. I want to say it's something like makos, but again, if that feels wrong saying it. But yes, so they've been seen off the south coast of the UK, which is a little bit concerning, as yes, Bournemouth, Boscombe is kind of one of the areas that I've been considering going to surf, because my favourite, and they might even be my unofficial official sponsor this week, the legendary Sorted Surf Shop in Boscombe is my my local surf shop, even though it is like 100 miles away. And they are literally minutes away from where this shark was spotted. So that would be one of my go-tos on a coastal sort of retreat for a surfing adventure. And let's just say that's kind of put, shall we say, a shark amongst the surfers instead of rather a cat amongst the pigeons. Not too sure if I'll be venturing that way. But that also kind of I want to touch on the sadness that is, and I can never remember his first name, but I know his surname is Perry, the Hawaiian gentleman that unfortunately lost his life due to a shark attack off the east coast of Hawaii, I believe last week, which is very sad news because he seemed to be quite a legendary character, a loving husband, and just a general positive inspiration on surfing and the community, and just an awesome guy. So to hear that he'd been kind of unfortunately taken in a shark attack is just a very sad situation. And so yeah, sad to hear and sad to think that, again, sharks are going to get a bad rep, and just one of those things where it's like, hey man, it sucks, it is kind of a bit of a danger of the sport, but I can only imagine that he would have thought, well, it's just one of the risks that you take doing the thing that we love. So yeah, a bit sad there, but Friday night salute to him, and much love and thoughts go out to friends and family. But getting back to the Friday night show, let's have a little look in the live chats. We've got dolphins around Wales, not seeing any sharks. Yeah, I know that we see a few different sorts of dolphins, shall we say, Pippa? I think, is it bottlenose? Or there was, not porpoises. There's a couple of things that we get, well, you guys get off the coast of Wales, which is quite miraculous. Again, if any of you awesome little Googlers, I know legendary Dave, who sounds pretty quick at this thing, he might even do the honours and running off into Google and having a little look and seeing what sharks we do happen to get off the south coast of Wales, because I did actually see it and kind of even contemplated going along and having a little go, venturing out in some diving gear and going and kicking it with some let's just say less predatory sharks, maybe. But yes, the madness truly is real, guys and girls, and it is one of the dangers that we face. But it's also something that seems to be a little bit of an offshoot of the warmth that we're receiving in the last week. So as much as it's been a beautiful thing, yes, it's the things that come along with it. However, while talking about beautiful things, and I'm going to do this now, and if everybody decides to run off outside and leave the show, that was my own doing. However, the last time it happened, I had no idea it was going to happen and was completely unaware. However, there is talk and also proof that the Aurora Borealis could very well be visible from all of, not just the Highlands, all of the UK tonight. So the 28th of June, Friday, now, as we speak, I don't know exactly what time it could be most visible, but if you were to check out the Aurora website or app that shows you the height of likeliness of it being visible, I know that it's in a red at the minute. So I just wanted to give you guys and girls the heads up, because the last time, didn't even know it was happening. Wasn't until after the show that everybody was like, hey man, why is the sky sort of green and purple? Yes, and I was sat here delivering a Friday night live show, completely none the wiser. It's always kind of green and red in my Friday night live shows. Anyway, as I say, let's have a little look, see what is going on in the live chats, because again, I've seen people just firing off. Have the shark incidents picked up in Florida yet, Steve? Quite a few types of shark around the UK. Thank you very much, Davey Sand, for doing that little check. But man, it's awesome. Let me just say this, guys and girls, because there's just so many comments, and it goes back into the news for the abuse, as we love a little bit of abuse for those glasses, and I am working on getting bigger ones, do not worry. Matthew, pleasure seeing you, dude. Absolute honour to have you here. Always appreciate you turning up to a live. Yeah, it is just an honour, and I will say this, it's absolutely awesome to just see how much you guys and girls get into the live chat and just comment, and the vibe in there is epic. And sometimes, and I've said this multiple times, one of these days I'm just going to ignore the camera. I'm going to say, hey guys and girls, it's been an awesome show, I love it, it's great, talk amongst yourselves, and I'm just going to watch the live chat. Or I need to get a co-host. Where's Chris Avery when you need him? I need to get him on for a live. Anyway, getting back to a schedule. Done it the week before last. It was kind of a bit related. We were doing themes and stuff. This week, I'm getting back to how it should be, where it's completely unbelievable. I missed my cue, didn't I? I was in the chat, and it's the wrong blooming title screen. What's that all about? Where is it? What have you done with it? Where are you hidden it? There it is.
I do not believe in the name of sanity.
Oh, I don't know. Talk about rough around the edges. Yes, it is the segment or the part of the show that we like to say, I don't believe it. It's up to you. It's up to you to go down the rabbit hole and prove it to yourselves. You know how I like picking things that's really hard to say, and I've struggled with some French this evening? You wait for this one. So, let me give you 10 things that you, it's up to you. It's up to you whether you believe them, whether you want to go fact check them, or you just sit there and go, I do not believe it. So that's what we call this part of the show. The scientific term for a brain freeze is, wait for it, Sphenopalatine, and wait for this one. I love doing this to myself, don't I? Ganglioneuroalgia. Ganglioneuroalgia. Look it up, guys and girls. Like, I know when people say, what's the longest word? Seriously? Sphenopalatine. plantina ganglioneuroalgia. I think I've got that completely wrong, but Jesus, yeah, trying to get that one up. Anyway, moving on. Canadians say sorry so much that a law was passed in 2009 declaring an apology can't be used as evidence of admission to guilt. Back when dinosaurs existed, there were volcanoes erupting on the moon. The only letters that don't appear on the periodic table are J and Q. One habit of intelligent humans is being easily annoyed by people around them but saying nothing to avoid a meaningless argument. If a polar bear and a grizzly bear mate, their offspring is called a peasy bear. In 2006, a Coca-Cola employee offered to sell Coca-Cola secrets to Pepsi. Pepsi responded by notifying Coca-Cola. The 10 highest mountain summits in the United States are all located in Alaska. Nintendo trademarked the phrase, "It's on like Donkey Kong," in 2010. And then this one. Daniel Radcliffe was allergic to his Harry Potter glasses. They had no lenses to prevent reflection from behind the scenes, and the glass lenses were added in post-production. So, it's up to you guys and girls whether you believe it or not.
I do not believe in the name of sanity.
So, yeah, sphonio, neuro, something or other, ganglionio, yeah, neuroalgia, yeah. Go and check it out. No wonder people just said, hey, it's a brain freeze, because I don't think you'd be able to. Maybe that's just like a phonetic, is it? Where if you have a brain freeze and you go, ah, 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 somebody come close to saying those words, and that's what they just, scientists were like, oh yeah, it's just brain freeze, dude. But yeah, we don't suffer that around here because we're always on the hot stuff, guys and girls. That's how we do it. So, some of those facts, do you believe them? Do you believe the one about there being volcanoes on the moon? The one about Canada having to pass a law to say that saying sorry isn't like testimony to being guilty was pretty epic. And then who even knew that grizzly bears and polar bears might mate? You only hear that kind of legendary stuff here on a Friday night. And obviously you get to see me completely fumble over scientific words and French. What more can you ask for on a Friday night, hey? So, getting back to some form of normality, let's have a little look. As I was running a poll, I meant to mention it earlier, and it's been kind of interesting. The one thing I have managed to keep an eye on, and that is the change in the percentage of one of the answers, which was, it all depends on what platform. So, I believe if you're watching this after the fact, you will be able to see the poll, but I'm not 100% sure. So, just for people that might not be watching the show live, in the live chats, I've been running a poll, and it says as follows. DMs aside, what is your overall feeling after using social media platforms? And there was 4 options available. Inspired, angry, no difference to before I went on, and it all depends on what platform. Slowly but surely throughout the night, it's shuffled up a bit, and there's kind of quite an eclectic view on this, which is really interesting. So 12% of you have voted you feel inspired, 25% of you have voted that you feel angry, 25% of you have said you feel no different after using social media as to before you went on, and then 38% of you have said it all depends on what platform. So this kind of this question arose in my mad little mind that I wanted to kind of put out, because it's lovely to have live interaction and live feedback on just random thoughts. In the past 2 weeks, I have been trying my very best to be more active and more creative, is possibly a strong way of putting it. I've been using the formerly known as artist known previously as Twitter, currently known as X. However you want to know it, the platform we now know as X. I've been trying to use that a little bit more than I have done for many months. Let's just say probably a year ago more, I decided that I was going to come away from that platform, as I never felt in the early days, the 2018s, shall we say, there was a very big drive and a huge community that had formed on there surrounding mental health, anxiety, depression, and as you may or may not know, the vlog kind of was birthed out of the situation of me going through kind of, some may say just a midlife crisis, but just a really significant stage in my life where it had come to a head that I was quite aware that I was suffering from depression. I don't know how long I had been, but it kind of came to a head, and that's what kind of gave birth to the vlog. So I took to Twitter, and there was a huge community there. However, throughout the course of the past years and the change in 2020, and there was times on there where a lot of people have come away naturally because they've progressed and moved on to bigger and better things. And also, obviously, the change in hands from the previous owners to now the current owner. A lot of things on that platform have changed. And it's one of those things where I always tend to try my best to change the game up and push different avenues, but I always tend to come away from there feeling not inspired, not necessarily angry, but just very much frustrated. And that's just to mention one platform. I'm not going to sit here and go through platform by platform, but it was just something that I wanted to ask you guys and girls and see what your views are on this, because it's quite interesting that so many of you, 38%, went with it all depends on what platform. Now, from my point of view, it's very split with so many, because I will quite happily admit I spend a lot of my time on YouTube. I really enjoy the content that is out here. There is so much of it, and obviously you can follow very specific lines of content, in which case when you come in, the videos that are going to be recommended to you are really well recommended to you due to the fact that they really push what you're subscribed to. Sometimes it wavers and changes and differs, but nevertheless, it's usually pretty spot on. However, I do and have noticed that so many platforms these days tend to push content that isn't relevant, isn't amongst your followers or your interests, and certain platforms have gone in specific directions where, let's just say, certain styles of creativity have taken hold in a very huge and powerful way. And so then therefore, and I don't know if this is the same for different ages, different sexes. From my point of view, just taking one platform as an example, if I do spend a lot of time on X, it seems like a lot of the content that is pushed to me for me and not under my following tab tends to be of the opposite sex, very scantily clad with, let's just say, suggestive kind of open tweets. Which, hey man, if that's your vibe, if that's what you're into, then that's cool. However, even though I follow the likes of Casey Neistat, Lex Fridman, Jocko Willink, Echelon Front, and numerous other accounts that are more inspirational, stoic, philosophical in what they are tweeting, if I look on my For You, or like kind of suggested, it's such a different thing, but it's only of one kind of thing. Now, this week I spent a load of time saying not relevant, not relevant, not relevant, to post after post after post, to the point where literally all I was left with was ads. So there was no content in between, just sponsored posts or ads, which is kind of crazy. Now, going back to what I was saying in regards to somewhere like YouTube, where they tend to push you in the way of things that you really are interested in because they want you to stay on the platform. Now, this leads me to the bit that I'm getting at. Now, obviously, I can spend a lot of time on YouTube. However, if I find myself scrolling through shorts, I find it just as uninspiring as if I am on the For You tab over being on the For You tab. The following, sorry. So, be interesting. What platforms specifically do you individuals spend your most amount of accumulated social media time? And we're not trying to say like specifically hate on any platform, but I just wanted to kind of get a rough idea of where you spend your most time, the frustrations that come from using those platforms. And we're not talking about just being on a platform like I use Instagram, I use Twitter, I use WhatsApp, I use YouTube. So many of those, a lot of the time is actually spent in communication with others. It's not even looking at the news or the page or the feed. It's just purely direct messaging backwards and forwards. So all of that aside, and especially with like Facebook or such sort of social media spaces like that, where maybe you might just be in a group or in kind of a very direct communication. Be interesting. Away from that, are you a TikTok user? Do you find that you have more discovery or reach or fun, inspiration, things that make you laugh and smile? Which platforms give you that most joy? But I did just see something where I believe Tom mentioned, well said, Bob. So, Bob, let's have a little look. Let's see if we can be super pro here. And let's bring it up. Boom, boom. I bet you can't even see that on there. Why isn't that up? All right, we'll cancel that because that don't look very good on there anyway. So, what did you say, Bob? Let's have a little look. Don't understand X. Yeah, dude, neither do I. Me too. Push me work on there because I did notice, Mr. Cockney Buddy, that you were on Twitter and then you seem to have drifted. I also don't like the short clip videos and they're trying to work on people's tendencies towards habitual scrolling. Yes, if that is what you commented on, Tom, I agree with you in that as well. There's a lot of really interesting bits and I'm kind of almost edging towards, I can't wait to see after the show when I do go through all of the individual comments on this because it's kind of an in-depth conversation. It's a shame I can't just click on your tabs and get you into a live chat. Wouldn't that be awesome, YouTube? And this is also something, Dan, so again, if you can't see the live chat, Dan's just said, I have been in the IG less and less, so many adverts, promoted stuff. This is another thing that I'm noticing where it's interesting that there is, and I don't know how to put this politically correct, like a certain demographic that I have noticed is finding their lives away from social media platforms. The concerning thought is the other side of the demographic that are so involved and it is like a necessity to their life, to their communication, to their existence. And something that I noticed while viewing shorts this afternoon and breaking it down very simply was it's always either a camera videoing an aggressor or a victim with a camera videoing the aggressor, if that makes sense. And it just seems like it's either hate on the coined phrase, the Karens, or just injustices, but it's always and typically, funnily enough, just happens to be caught on camera. And it kind of makes me wonder, is it the people that are the problem or is it the camera that's being the problem? Because I've seen a lot of videos and I imagine you guys and girls have probably seen them. You may be aware of them. And that is audit videos. And I just feel like, especially within the drone community, I know that there's been a lot of people discussing these certain channels that class themselves as auditors. And they basically, and I don't know anything about the grassroots of these kind of channels, but just as a very uneducated person, I just see this as people playing within the guidelines to antagonize others. And I have also seen this just lately spur into the situation where in certain parts of the world, they know their rights well enough that they know that they can freely video into a shop front, or they can video within public spaces, and that's all fine. But if you're physically following an individual without giving them any purpose, reason, or justification to as or reasons why you were following them with a camera, I kind of feel like even I, with a camera, would feel uncomfortable if somebody was following me with a camera and I didn't know about it. However, because they know where they stand within their rights, they can use this as a kind of antagonistic tool to then get somebody's actions or aggressions on camera. And I just feel like, is this where we're heading? Now, I know and I believe there's a few people in this live chat at the minute where they would say that a lot of the content that they try to put out into the world is like super positive. It's very much based around well-being, mindfulness, trying to promote better quality of life for self and also for the people around you, and trying to just push enjoyment, love, compassion, empathy, all those super positive things. And so I know it's out there, and I have faith in humanity. However, it just seems like that doesn't sell, especially when you see the amount of content that is being made and being consumed, and consumed at vast amounts. So I almost need to start like a make YouTube great again movement. I think we should make a movement now where you guys and girls get involved, and let's try to change this. Let's try to change the situation that is our interaction with social media and the way that social media interacts with us. So instead of stepping away and walking away from the madness that is social media, let's get in there and bring what we do best, because I know all of the people in this live chat are just awesome individuals that bring nothing but kind of stoke and good vibes. And let's bring that back. So instead of running away from Twitter, because it feels negative, but let's get in there and let's push like super positive and just awesomeness. And we don't need to be trolling people. We just need to be out there just whittling away. It might feel like a log that is too big to whittle, but I think if we all done it, that it would just be infectious, and it will slowly, possibly make a little bit of difference. And the other thing is, obviously, if you feel happier away from social media, who am I to tell you to go on there and put yourself and your sanity in danger? So any of what I just said does come with a public service announcement that, hey, if you feel safer not doing it to yourself, most definitely. But if you were in the world of social media and you were an active creator, then let's just try to keep away from antagonizing. And like the other day where somebody even mentioned to me, I missed my opportunity with that Karen. It was like, no, dude, I didn't. I completely scored on the opportunity to say that when that occasion arises, instead of picking up the camera and antagonizing another individual to expose themselves, probably by emotion, not even to the genuine person that they are, but just to fire up their emotions and make them be somebody they're not. How many people are not who they really are in front of a camera these days? So why would I want to do that purposely just to get a couple of views? Interesting thought. So that's going to be the movement that I want to push. And again, man, I hate it. While I'm talking to the camera, I need a big like 20-inch screen behind the camera with your comments, because you guys have been absolutely going off in there and I'm loving it. I'm so looking forward to after the show, guys and girls, to get through the live chats. And yes, thank you, Pippa. Absolutely, Grom. Give the platform a positive purpose. Most definitely. Would have been so easy to rise to the Karen. And most definitely that, Davey-san. And more to the point of a few people had mentioned it where they were like, how awesome would it have been because she didn't know the camera was there. And it's like, that is exactly my point why I picked up my skateboard and picked up my camera and switched my camera off. Like, why do it? I have to ask myself this when I see so many video clips, whether it's on any platforms, not even YouTube, just across the social media platform, how it seems very ironic that the video clip starts as the guy starts cutting in front of a car and brake testing someone. And let's just say, we've all probably had moments of road rage. However, at which point did you feel that you wanted to overtake the person in front of you and start brake testing him on a motorway? Ask yourself that. However, you never see that, you just see the after effect. And so that questions, again, which side are they on? Are they the aggressor or are they the victim? Because a majority of the times we watch these videos and we think the camera is the victim. Interesting. So, again, just a wayward thought that I've been kind of pondering for the last week. So I'm going to pass that on to you guys and girls. But nevertheless, don't forget there is an opportunity to see the Northern Lights. So I'm going to say that again. And I also wanted to say this. I don't know if you guys and girls are aware of this, but I'm going to mention it while we're still live and we're still rolling. And I'll see if I can get confirmation. But if you were to look underneath your screen that you're viewing on right now, and you've obviously got the little like button, you've got the dislike button, you've got like share, probably some other little things. You might even be able to see a set of scissors. Now, how many of you have ever tried it on somebody else's video? Did you know, and I hope I'm getting my information correct here, you can take snippets of any video. You could even take a snippet of me saying you could take a snippet. And then guess what? You could share it to any platform you wanted. So maybe even that little bit that I was saying a while ago where like, let's change up the game, man. Let's make a movement. Let's make a movement of positive social media content where we spread awesome information and mindfulness. And it's not a case of it being disinformation or it being massive multimedia corporations trying to sell us the latest gadget that's going to make our lives better, but the same day we have it delivered we will also see another video saying this is why I wouldn't buy this thing. So there's a thought for you. And also I'd appreciate the hell out of it if you spread the word, because as I've said in the past, it is more powerful than anything. I could scream it from the rooftops, I could print flyers, I could print stickers, I could have planes fly across the sky with banners attached to them. But I tell you one thing, if you were to turn to anybody that you know, friend, family, work, colleague, just the bloke that you see at the end of the bar down the pub, say, hey man, next time you're at home on a Friday night, 10:45 p.m. GMT, check it, this weird bloke, stupid hair, a Hawaiian lady in a Hawaiian shirt on a Friday, drinks some coffee, talks some shit, and puts on some stupid glasses and tries to read. You never know. But I would appreciate it just because, again, trying to spread a positive vibe seems like it is almost impossible. But we try our very best. And I hope you go away from the show feeling kind of not downed by the conversations, not worried to swim in your local rivers or seas, may it be. And most of all, I hope you are lined up to go and have an awesomely warm, wonderful and well-being filled weekend, if that's even the correct way of saying it. But I hope you have an awesome weekend. Please don't forget, if you haven't already, smash the like button. Also, there's a stupid little bell down there, and if you hit it and then click the little all tick, you will be made aware of all notifications of anything that's happening on this YouTube channel. So if that's something you want to do, I appreciate you taking the time to do it and having a look and figuring it, and obviously coming back for more next week. Yes, we will be here again, 10:45 p.m. GMT for another Friday night live show. So until then, stay safe, stay focused, stay positive, stay getting out there and trying to make a difference in your lives to get towards the things that you want to achieve, because we sure as hell don't have a lot of time in this world. So let's try to make the goddamn most of what we got. Make some memories, have some laughter, and try to make a little ripple in a pond that affects people in a really positive way. So on that note, Friday night salute to you all. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you here, same time, same place. Till then, take it easy.